Hi guys, it's Vesna here. Welcome to my channel. If you're brand new, please do thank you for coming and do consider subscribing. If you're just coming back, thanks and welcome back. For today's video, I am participating in the DIY Mummy's Outdoor DIY and Decor Challenge. If you have not checked out her page, make sure you check it out. She is super creative. Lots of cool videos, lots of DIYs, and a lot of inspiration. So please be sure to check her page out. For the DIY challenge, we had to create either do an outdoor DIY or do outdoor decor or do both. So what I'm doing is both. I did a few DIYs and I decorated underneath my deck. So I'll first start off by showing you kind of what it looked like under my deck before. The only thing that I don't have a video of is me painting those boards up there and hanging up the lights as I did the boards I did last year, and the lights I just put up just before I did the video. But I will show you kind of what all of this looks like here now. This way you get an idea of everything and see what I was dealing with. We never really used this before. I really didn't like the way it looked before. So as you can see up there, sorry, I'm distracted. If you can see up there, that's the color of the boards here. So that's the only part that I haven't finished yet. So I wanted to go for a rustic look for two reasons. One, I love the rustic look. Two, I knew that I'd never be able to get like pure white on here because the wood is old and it's been there for a long time and lots of different paints and things missing. So I thought, well, why not just go for the rustic look since I like it anyway, and I love the way it turned out. I do have a kid's toy bin, which I will be moving to another part. Now that toy bin kind of moves around with everything, so like just as we use it. Then I did plant some different flowers. I didn't record myself doing that. What I also went ahead is I refinished my table. So this is what it looked like before. It was actually a glass table that I had from before, and the glass broke years ago. Like the wind picked up the table and threw it. So the glass broke, but the frame was good, so I thought, why not buy a few cedar boards, and I stained them. But over the years, the cedar boards kind of saw better days, so I sanded them down and I put this Varathane over top of them just to give it a little bit of waterproofing. I know that cedar is pretty waterproof. I mean, cedar's great for outside, but I thought this would add a little bit. I was going to stain the table again, but I really liked the way it looked naturally, like when I sanded everything down, so I left it. So then I went ahead and I cleared everything out from underneath the deck. I was going to add a new shelf up there and sweep everything, get rid of the hose so it's not just kind of hanging out there. We did have the hose hung up before, but it was just it's so bulky and it's in such an awkward spot. So anyway, I had just put we had some composite left over, so I put those on there, but that's not what I'm using right now. And then I needed to get rid of that, and then I was going to paint, well, I painted this part here, just the color to match the deck, and that took me a good amount of time. So again, it wasn't perfect. I didn't want it to be perfect, just so that it would be darker and a little bit refreshed. So when we moved into the house, what this actually was, here there was like a built-in kind of storage system, but it was all falling apart. It wasn't built very well. It had an ugly laminate countertop. I mean, it was probably there for like 20 years. So we got rid of that. Then we had put in just one of those like little storage sheds from Costco. But it turned out that it was a little bit too big for the space, so we moved it to a different part of the yard. And then I thought this would be a perfect space to just sit and lounge around, because I found that we weren't using the space under the deck. And it's so perfect because it's so shady, you don't need an umbrella, and you have a full view of the backyard, which is great. So I really wanted to make sure that we use this space. So there was a ton of nails that I had to take out. Some of them my husband had to help with just because they were just really in there. It was quite hard to take them out. And I didn't want any nails sticking out just because people would be sitting there, and I have two little guys, so I didn't want them, because you know they find these things. Once this was painted and somewhat dry, I went to just get rid of some of the cobwebs and everything up here, just to make it a little bit nicer and cleaner, obviously. So I just used my broom just to get rid of some of them. I had already done this before, but I saw that there was a few more that needed to be cleared off. And then I used a leftover board that we had in the garage for my shelf. So it just worked out that this board fit perfectly into the space. We didn't have to cut or anything like that. So I was really happy about that because I could just get going on it. And I hung it up here, being really careful not to get my window, just because it is long. And then I went ahead and I decorated. So once I got the shelf set up, I decided that I needed to do some decorations for down here. So I had been saving these bubble bottles, like from the bubble solution, for a little while. So what I did was I actually just spray painted 3 bottles. Once I took the tag off, this thing was so stubborn it wouldn't come off. I didn't have glue on, so I went and I put it, I washed it with some soapy water and whatever, and then I sanded it down. So once I got them cleaned, I spray painted them. First I tried to spray paint them with the Rust-Oleum chalked linen white, and that wasn't covering as well as I wanted it to. So then I went and I got just Rust-Oleum regular white spray paint, and that worked a lot better. I just thought I would use up way too much of this chalked paint, and it wasn't covering the way I wanted it to cover. And I kind of did them side by side, one with one and one with the other, and the other spray paint covered a lot better. So this is the one that I used. And once those dried, I used them in my decoration as vases. And when you're spray painting, you want to make sure that you're just kind of going like one spray by one spray. Otherwise, if you put too much, then it runs. And even though I do one spray by one spray, I still sometimes wind up putting too much in. And then I will be aging those as well. But did not record myself doing that. Then I got these, I made these signs. Last year I got the Cricut, and so this was my first project kind of in the winter time that I made. I did not, again, record myself doing this, but I thought they were really cute signs. So I'm just adding these onto the shelf over here. They're fun, they're funny. Then I have this lavender vase that I put together. So it's just a whole bunch of lavender from the Dollar Tree in a stainless steel bucket. And then I have another little Dollar Tree stainless steel vase with some flowers in it. Some of the flowers are from Dollar Tree and I think from Michael's. And then I put these lanterns that I got a few years ago. I picked them up at different thrift stores. I also wound up sweeping this area again. And once everything was swept and cleaned up, I put the table here. I put my bench over there. And then I realized that I needed some other things to help with adding decor on each side because I didn't like it so bare. So then I remembered that I had this little stool that we made. I don't even know where it came from, but it's like a DIY thing, DIY little step stool, I guess, from leftover pieces of wood. And I decided, but it's really banged up and nicked up, so I decided just to paint it white, and I was using my Rust-Oleum linen white, but just the regular paint, not spray paint. And I painted it white. Again, it wasn't made to be perfect. I really just wanted it to have the rustic feel, kind of like the rest of the this space has. So once that dried, I set it up as like a little side table, so you'll see in the finished product. When you're painting with like any kind of chalked paint, you can just, like, it doesn't really matter how you paint. You just do random strokes. You don't have to do up and down or side to side, whatever you want. It'll wind up looking really good. So I also wound up getting this barrel from Home Depot. It's a whiskey barrel planter. And I picked up some tropical plants because I thought it would add a nice feel down here. I have these little pots that I got from IKEA a little while ago, so I put the tropical plants in there. So then I was using this whiskey barrel planter for my hose, and I'm going to be flipping it upside down. I'll put the hose in there, and it'll just be a quick and easy way for us to access the hose without the hose being prominent in the picture, because it drove me nuts when it was there. I didn't record myself putting it in there because I actually could not do it by myself. I had to have my husband help me. The back of this area, or the side of this area, I wound up planting some new hostas and sedums, and climbing hydrangeas, just for some added privacy. So here is the finished product. So here is the finished project. I am super happy with the way it turned out. I just love everything. So I've managed to put the hose into the barrel, and then I flipped it upside down, and I just put these vases that I painted from, they were actually the bubble solution bottles. Then I've got my 3 plants that I bought, the refinished table that I showed you guys. I've put a lantern there, and I actually put it there because I am trying to hide this thing. We're actually not sure what it is, so it just has to be there apparently, so we're trying to hide it. There's that. I will, once everything is back to normal somewhat, I will go and buy maybe like some sort of like plant that hangs down so it covers that, but it would have to be like a faux plant because it's all electricity there, so I don't really want it getting wet. And then I'll probably do the same thing on this side to hide the water. This is just a stool that I painted white, but I purposely left it kind of dinged up and everything because I wanted that look, that rustic look. I made these signs last year. We just never hung them up because this was a disaster last year. And there they are. And I thought they were just fun signs for the pool. And then I painted this white, and as you can see, again, I kind of went with that rustic feel because I knew I would never get it perfectly white, so this way, and I love the way it looks anyway, but this way, you know, it's like purposefully done that way. And it was like wood like this, and then painted redwood, so I went ahead and I changed this up. And then there's the table, nice seating for everybody. Really nice. Then I just stuck my tomato plant there, so it's out of the way, near the water. Don't mind that mess over there. And then they chopped the tree down in front of our house. They chopped the tree down in front of our house, so I kept a few of the little stoops. So there's one there, or stumps, whatever. Sorry, and long day, and then one there, and I thought that was perfect. These little tables, and that's it. Hope you like it as much as I do, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. It's probably one of my favorite spaces out here in the backyard. and I hope you liked it too. If you really liked it, please be sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment, any advice or feedback, and also consider subscribing to my page, and make sure you check out my other videos. Check out the playlist, check out these creators, and you'll get some inspiration hopefully for your outdoor projects. Again, thank you for stopping by, and have yourself a fantastic day.